Hi guys, this is Tabiasobi, and today, well, who else watched today's Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak Digital Event? I did as part of our regular gaming coverage for the newspaper that I work for at rgj.com, and let's just say that it was short and sweet. Newspaper? What's that? Is that like a horse-drawn carriage or something? Aren't those dead? Well, I guess we're like cockroaches. We're still hanging around after all these years. Speaking of hanging around, guess who's back for Sunbreak? That would be good old Surge, who's apparently decided to bring 2 new friends along. Yeah, so the flagship monster from Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate is back, complete with all the sharp, pointy stuff that it's known for. Do you bleed? You will. Now, for folks who never fought Seregios before, let's just say that hunting the guy is a bloody mess. Literally. Basically, this guy missed the memo about not running with a knife. Well, technically, he's not running with a knife. He's running with many knives. Seregios was actually pretty cool when it first came out because it was designed to punish certain hunter habits. Like, I remember one of its moves doing a number on me every time I reflexively rolled sideways to dodge it. So I basically had to learn to evade it a different way. But one of the cool things about Seregios was actually its weapons, which boasted incredible sharpness. On top of that, they would actually also automatically sharpen every time you rolled while the weapon was unsheathed. So I'm hoping that they actually keep that mechanic for Sunbreak. I'm also hoping its bowguns work well with slicing ammo, whether it be via a bigger clip size or rapid firing. Honestly, I just want to give Surge a taste of its own medicine. It's like slapping him with his own hand. I also remember Seregios' armor coming with stamina skills, which is good if you use weapons like dual blades or bow. I believe it also came with critical draw for melee weapons and then a shooting boost skill for gunners. Then again, the devs could change all that, so we'll see. The digital event also introduced 2 new subspecies with a fire and ice theme. Kinda like Game of Thrones, I guess. There's Magma Almudron, who's a lava-spewing version of everyone's favorite oversized hermit monster. On one hand, I'm excited because I love fighting Agnactor, who this version kinda reminds me of. And then on the other hand, I'm also a bit concerned because I hate fighting Lavasioth, who this monster kinda reminds me of as well. I'm so torn. And then there's the subspecies named after one of my aunties, Aurora somnicanth. Or is it Aurora somnicanth? Wait, Tabiasobi, you ask? Your aunt is named Somnicanth? No, she's not. Anyway, let's just hope Aunt Aurora doesn't watch Monster Hunter YouTube videos, or else I'm gonna be in big trouble. Anyway, Aurora somnicanth has basically given up on making you fall asleep, and opts to just outright freeze you cold in your tracks. Kinda reminds me of Ice Agnactor a bit, with its ice beams and long body. Funny how I always seem to keep mentioning Agnactor in this video. All I'll say is, Agnactor better be in Sunbreak. After we all got teased with its baby Oroctors in Rise, only for it not to show up. Speaking of monsters that did not show up, unfortunately we did not get a Gammoth reveal in this one. But I'm still holding out hope that the Fated 4 will be whole once again, after everything is said and done. Suzuki also shared details about the vampiric flagship Elder Dragon Malzeno. I've always liked the symbiotic nature of monsters like Zinogre with other small creatures, and Malzeno boasts the same synergy with these small moth-like monsters that it uses to capture energy. Malzeno can also inflict a status called Blood Blight, which triggers a life force battle that a hunter must overcome to quote-unquote survive. I wonder if it's like Gore Magala's Frenzy Virus, which punishes you with a weakness if you don't overcome it, but then grants you an affinity buff if you overcome it by hitting Gore Magala enough times. Also, if Malzeno absorbs enough of your life force, it will actually evolve into a more powerful form, which looks pretty dangerous. This isn't even my final form! And then another interesting thing that was announced is the ability to swap between different sets of switch skills on the fly. This is actually the one I'm especially excited about from these announcements so far, given the impact on gameplay. So basically you can equip 2 sets of skill loadouts by using switch skill swap scrolls. Yeah, say that 10 times real fast. I barely lucked out saying it once. Anyway, this is actually great because there were times in Rise when I would wish that I could use, say, the Greatsword Rage Slash skill when fighting monsters on the move for super armor and better aiming, but then quickly switch to the clunkier but more damaging True Charge Slash when a monster is downed or asleep. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it already. Switch skill swapping also makes it possible to combo the effects of Silkbind attacks that you could not before, because you had to choose either one or the other. Sunbreak even adds a swap evade move that lets you dodge while swapping skill loadouts, which looks quite useful when things get hot and hectic. Basically, these features continue the Monster Hunter tradition of using the base game like training wheels, and then adding more advanced mechanics on top of that with the G-Rank or Master Rank version as players get used to the gameplay. And for folks who've always wanted to take NPCs out for hunts, Minoto and you know what? Yeah, it is now possible to do that with the new Follower Quests feature. Yeah, this one lets you team up with NPCs for special quests that can only be done in single player mode and can net you exclusive rewards. Though I'm sure being able to play with allies like Fiorine will be reward enough for some folks. You know who you are! Of course, one of the concerns with stuff like this is whether your AI partners end up being as dumb as a rock. But it looks like they can set traps, mount monsters, and some of them can even heal, so if they're as good as my healing Palico, then it should be all good. Speaking of mounting monsters, you also now have the option of tweaking the controls for your mounting settings, so you can pick between mounting or continuing to attack a monster that's in a mountable state. Yeah, so this opens up certain possibilities, like, maybe sneaking in a few more attacks before finally mounting the monster, stuff like that, so. And then another gameplay change is the ability to wall run without having to use your wire dash. So not only is this more convenient, it also means you can save a wire bug charge for reaching higher places, for example. And then they made some product announcements after that, like deluxe edition items, new amiibos, a Sunbreak themed Pro controller, pre-order bonuses, and a Navro skin for folks with a Stories 2 save file. And by that I mean Monster Hunter Stories 2, which if you haven't played, is a really great game. It's like Pokemon with Monster Hunter. Anyway, I'm quite liking these gameplay additions, and I hope they announce even more to help keep the gameplay fresh. I also hope we get more content than we did in Rise, since that would be my only major gripe about the base game. Yeah, so more content, please. So what do you think about the latest announcements for Sunbreak? As always, if you have any thoughts or questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. Once again, this is Tabi Asobi, and thank you for watching.
That one day you and I would go hunting together. Going on a quest with you two is gonna be fun.